so they're not allowed to use both plants to produce the new products, because these two new products are not the only things that the company makes. They're already engaged in a lot of business. They have a lot of other products, and that stuff has to be made at one of the existing plants. So they're going to basically decide which of their plants is going to go to the new stuff and which is going to be dedicated to the old stuff. Is that okay with everyone? Questions? Okay? All right. Good. So what kind of decision variables should we have? You have to tell me. There's a bunch of decision variables. So you can gain a lot of glory just by saying what an obvious one might be. Okay. What about the three products, though? Okay. So that's a decision variable that is going to tell us whether or not we're producing product 1, and a corresponding decision variable for product 2 and product 3, right? Okay. Any other decision variables? Yes. Which plant to use? Okay. Good. And how about another decision? I think there's another set of decision variables as well. You sort of have to read the first bullet carefully. So right now we've got whether or not we're producing product 1, whether or not we're producing product 2, whether or not we're producing product 3. We've got which plant we're using, and what's left. How much? Yeah, how much of product 1 we're producing. So it's subtly different, right? That we could sort of fold those two ideas together and say, well, if we're producing a positive amount, that means we're producing it. If we're producing a 0, we're not producing it. But it's very convenient potentially to separate out those two kinds of decisions. That the decision to make something and then the decision of how much of it to make might be different. Okay, here's some. Before let's see, I guess I jumped ahead and didn't show you the data for the problem yet, but let's look at that now. So we've got our 2 plants, we've got 3 products, and we have in this box here the amount of resource at plant 1, that's available production time, that's consumed in making a unit of product 1, and that turns out to be 3. And then we consume 4 hours in making a unit of product 2, and are a bit more efficient with making product 3. We only consume 2 hours. So we have that for each of our 2 plants, right? And then we have some available hours for our 2 plants, 30 hours for plant 1 and 40 hours for plant 2. Plant 2 might have a slightly longer